everyone. My name is Deb Oakey, and I'm an English professor who has been attempting to teach writing across the curriculum for over 20 years. I couldn't be with you today, but Courtney and Laura were kind enough to allow me to prepare a video to share some of what I've learned through my efforts. How often have you been grading papers and made this comment about the English department to yourself? Well, it's a valid point, and there are a couple of factors that contribute to this problem. First of all, graduate programs have not traditionally prepared future professors to teach writing in other disciplines. In fact, it's only been within the past few decades that English graduate programs have offered an emphasis in rhetoric and composition. And there are virtually no textbooks that teach true writing across the curriculum. Believe me, I've been looking for one for over 20 years. Even the texts that claim to be based on writing across the curriculum don't discuss differences in writing styles and conventions. They merely suggest topics in various disciplines and include articles for magazines, which aren't disciplinary writing at all. But there's so much more to consider in disciplinary writing than which topics are appropriate. Everything about writing is based on audience, and the professors of different disciplines expect varying types of writing. The format, the organization, the type of evidence privileged, and even the language differs in various disciplines. These differences make perfect sense because many of them reflect the discipline's worldview and definition of appropriate forms of academic research. Disciplines tend to fall along a continuum that is reflected in writing. On one end of the continuum are disciplines that we will refer to as interpretive. Interpretive disciplines, as the name implies, are concerned with research based on close observation, analysis, and interpretation. On the other end of the continuum are the empirical disciplines. Empirical disciplines are concerned with research of phenomena that can be observed and measured. Now, the most interpretive disciplines are those in the creative and performing arts. Some of these disciplines, such as the visual arts, music, and dance, are so interpretive that they communicate non-linguistically. On the other end of the continuum, the most empirical discipline is mathematics, which also communicates non-linguistically. A little further inward on the interpretive end, but still very interpretive, are disciplines such as literature and humanities courses such as cultural studies and anthropology. A little bit further inward on the empirical end of the continuum, but still very definitely empirical, are the hard sciences such as chemistry, biology, and physics, and the social sciences such as psychology, sociology, and political science. Interpretive disciplines are based to a greater or lesser degree on the concept that objective reality is unknowable because we all view the world through the lenses of our personal experiences. Therefore, an individual voice and a recognition of the connection between the writer and the content are appropriate. In fact, a more personal writing style featuring a distinctive voice is viewed as important because it acknowledges the interpretive nature of the results and the influence that the writer has on them. But as we noted, empirical disciplines focus research on phenomena that can be observed and measured. And the measurement would be exactly the same regardless of who conducts a study. We all know that a principle of the scientific method is replicability, which holds that the results would be the same if the study were repeated by other researchers, no matter who or where they were. Now, since who conducts the study is irrelevant, it's logical that writing should be highly objective and lack a voice or any expression of personal opinions or interpretations. In fact, most studies published within a particular academic journal read as if they were written by the same author. Obviously, different disciplines have different expectations in terms of student writing, and the English department really needs your help in better preparing students to write for your classes. Yes, we can learn many aspects of writing for your discipline by analyzing discourse used in academic journals. For example, we can determine whether your discipline prefers writing that is highly objective or writing that has a personal voice. We can learn the basic organizational patterns that your discipline privileges, and even some of the wording considerations, such as whether your discipline allows the use of first-person pronouns like I. But undergraduate writing is different in many ways from the writing that we see in academic journal articles. Few undergraduate courses require primary research, and that completely changes the organization of the writing. The lab reports that are based on primary research are a genre that isn't even published anywhere. Lower-level undergraduate papers seem to resemble the literature review portion of journal articles, but the journal articles provide very little information about the studies they summarize other than the essential findings. And another problem is that these are just assumptions that we make based on our own analysis of the discourse. We could better prepare students to write for your discipline if we had your help. Finally, some academic organizations urge changes in writing styles from time to time, but only those who read in the discipline frequently really know whether and how those changes are being adopted. For example, the American Psychological Association has recently called for a more personal voice, and I am seeing that to some degree in the discussion section of some journal articles. But only academicians who read in a discipline frequently and consistently can really judge the degree to which suggested changes are adopted and accepted. And only professors in those disciplines know how those changes affect undergraduate papers. Your help is very important to us as we attempt to address what professors in your discipline would like to see in your students' papers. We really hope that today marks a new beginning of interdisciplinary collaboration that can help our students write across the curriculum. And we're looking forward to an exciting journey that can help all of our students.